Hello and welcome to Illegal Knowledge. Once again, we're back this time to bring you a wonderful debate between the presidential candidates who are running on the ballot for the Arizona presidential preference election, which will be held next Tuesday, the 28th of February. This is Let's Get On TV 2012, Illegal Knowledge's Arizona presidential preference election debate special. Now, we are very proud to be hosting the very first debate in Arizona of this current presidential election cycle. And the debate winners tonight will be featured tomorrow at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock actually, is it? 7 o'clock for a second debate. And that will be on the 19th of February, so stay tuned. So on with tonight's debate. Tonight we have some members of the Green Party, and well, me is actually, I'm the only one here tonight, and we have members of the Republicans. Everyone else behind me who are all answering questions, including which those are posed by you, our viewing audience. We will have numbers on the screen, so if you're watching this on a day other than live on Saturday 18th, it will be too late to call in. But tonight, we'll put the numbers on the screen so you can call in with your questions for the candidates. Now, 4 years ago, when Illegal Knowledge was the very first presidential debate show, we were using Studio B here at Access Tucson, and what is great here tonight is that we're in Studio A, so we have much more room, many more capabilities, and it's just wonderful. Last year, Tucson Weekly writer Jim Nitzel was filling in, or last time, he was filling in for me as guest host, and so I'm a candidate tonight for president. Since I'm running this year, Jim is doing call screening tonight. We have San Diego Weekly CityBeat editorial staffer, the great Dave Maass, is our host, and he will go ahead and introduce everyone in a minute. I would just like to let you know that this is episode 401, the first episode of the fourth season of Illegal Knowledge, and we will be back every month on the third Saturday of the month at 8 o'clock, and we will do that for a few months until August or something like that, so keep watching. All right, then, I would like for everyone to say, hi, Kyler! Hi, Kyler! Hi, Kyler! All right, and so, let's go ahead and start the debate. Mr. Maass, take it away.
Hi, welcome to the Illegal Knowledge debate. It is the first of 3 debates before the February 28th presidential preference election. My name is Dave Maass. I am a staff writer for San Diego CityBeat, but I've written for alternative weeklies across the Southwest. All my life, I've dreamt of moderating a presidential debate, much like the people who are with me have dreamt of running for president. This debate is brought to you by Tucson Weekly and Access Tucson. In 2008, as well as in 2012, Tucson Weekly has run a reality journalism competition called Project White House, in which we ask regular Americans to run for president, and they compete for the newspaper's endorsement. Of the 29 candidates on the ballot, I believe over half are participating in Project White House. There are 23 Republican candidates, 12 are participating in our competition. Of the 6 Green candidates, 3 are Project White House candidates. We have 9 of them with us tonight, and I would like them to introduce themselves, give us a little background, and tell us why people should vote for them instead of one of the major candidates who aren't here tonight. And I'm going to start, because Michael got a lot of attention being up first, I'm going to start on the far side with Mr. Perry. You can just go ahead and stay where you are and do it. I should have explained that in advance. So just go ahead and stand up and give the audience a little about you.
Can we start over?
Sure.
Or let's go first. My name is Dick Perry. I've been a musician in Tucson for so long I've forgotten how many years. People have called me the unofficial mayor of Tucson. They said you should run for something, Al. And so I thought I'd start at the top as president, because I'm so old that I don't have time to go through the city council, state representative, House Speaker, whatever. I'm just going to start at the top. And so that's why I'm running for president, because I want to serve you.
Mr. Dean.
I'm Kip Dean. I woke up one day, saw that running for president in Arizona required no signatures, required not even an ID, and I sat there and looked at a state that was causing so much trouble with the birther bill and everything that they've been doing, and I just looked and said, hey, I don't like any of these Republican candidates whatsoever. Why don't I go ahead and run? Because I can't do a worse job than any of these yahoos. So I went ahead and signed up, went down to the election office, and here I am now. And I think I'm a lot more impassioned about what I'm trying to do at this point, simply because, again, after watching a couple debates and seeing these guys go through a couple different states, none of them were even as likable as they was back in the beginning of January.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Mr. Bollander, this is your second time running for president, is it correct?
Yes.
All right, tell us who you are.
Yeah, my name is Simon Bollander. I'm third down on the ballot for the Republican Party. This February 28th, I'd like to have you vote for me. My basic stand or campaign wishes is strong. We have a very ineffective Congress that's creating a runaway budget. The leadership is bad. Most of them are lawyers or attorneys, 70%, and I plan to, again, when I get in office, to gradually replace them with people with backgrounds in economics, marketing, business, and so forth. So you realize you have a severe problem. I plan to turn that around, not overnight, about within a 4-year period. The program is called the Green Coalition, and I have the 10-star program.
Well, we'll get into your 10-star program in a little bit, I think. So let me keep it just moving along.
Can I just finish?
Yeah, please, sorry.
Take that all into account. I plan to get strong on the vote count, and I know it'll be very difficult because we lack campaign money, and we're set aside as dark horse candidates, and we plan to have an issue of suing the Democrats and the Republicans for not giving us face or in the debates, to just kind of shut us out. So look forward to a heavy damage suit in the multi-millions, Democrats and Republicans.
Thank you very much. We're going to jump over here to Mr. Terr. Please introduce yourself and tell us why people should vote for you instead of one of the mainstream candidates.
My name is Jim Terr, T-E-R-R. I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'd like to thank Access Tucson and Reverend Oatman for arranging this. I appreciate my fellow candidates, both Green and Republican. I used to be a Green before I was a Democrat, and then I was a Democrat, and now I've been a proud Republican for about 4 weeks. I'd like to thank my fellow candidates, and I'm excluding the top 4, of course, for taking such a serious approach to the campaign and the issues. You'll get none of that from me, however. I've pretty well given up on the world, on our future, on our civilization. But I do have a few things to say about elections and campaigns and the process itself. So I hope these topics will come up tonight.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. On that note, I do want to thank Secretary of State Ken Bennett for allowing you on the ballot, although he did throw several of our other candidates off the ballot, and for which I don't thank him. Mr. Skelley, you're also a second-time Project White House candidate.
Yes, I ran in 2008. And that prompted me to try this again. I figured with name recognition, I'll just, go right to the top. I'll probably even beat the top 4. So why would I not be elected? I've decided that we have a few problems in this country, and we should be running constructive campaigns instead of pounding each other down, debating and could be pounding people down. I feel that we could simply be a productive nation. And if we did that, then all the candidates would have good topics, good ideas, and they wouldn't beat up on each other.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cisneros, Gonzalez.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Already!
I apologize. She's sitting next to Mr. Cisneros.
Cool, because we're both Mexican, I know. My name is Cesar Cisneros, and I'm running for office. That's no problem, Dave. We're cool like that. Because I'm severely amazing, and I think we need more severe candidates in the Republican Party. Also, I saw that Romney was really racing towards the right. He wanted to be the rightest right, but really, anytime there's a competition, I have to get involved. So I'm actually trying to be righter than Romney. So I'm so right that I'm actually kind of left. So we'll see where it goes. And then also, I think there's a real problem that there's just too much penis in the room, and often in politics as well. And we're seeing a lot of assault now too, and I just want to say, the issue is not in my uterus. So as a woman, I think we need to start diversifying. Not that men are bad, but when there's an imbalance, then it's not right. So occupy politics! Hi to my family.
Yay!
Thank you. Now, Mr. Cisneros.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. My name is Cesar Cisneros. I'm running for president because I love this nation with every fiber of my heart. And I love you. 330 million of you, fellow Americans.
Mr. Cisneros, could I ask you just to speak up a little bit louder?
Soundstage is not
I want to serve you. I want to protect you, keep you safe. That's why I'm running for president. That you may keep more of your money, pay less taxes, so you can provide for your family. I'm running for president to seal the borders here in Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, California. So these so no more drugs can come across our border. That's why I'm running for president. I love this nation, like I said. I'm also a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm a Mormon. Like, say a couple of Mormons that are running for president.
Yeah. And
I'm a Mormon too. Like I said,
we really will need you to speak up just a little bit more.
yes, they wanted me to speak a little harder, louder. Okay. I've been running for president for the last 2 years, since 2010. I started in 2010. Many people across America know that I'm running for president. They want to vote for me. Since January 2010. I believe that President Obama should only serve 4 years, one term.
Wonderful.
He cannot serve another 4 years. My fellow Americans, I need your vote. Check my website, CesarCisneros.com.
And thank you, Mr. Cisneros. Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you. My name is Donald Benjamin. I'm 66 years old, just a kid with a crazy dream. And I'm hoping to get your vote on February 28th. And I hope that you will support these fine candidates or myself in lieu of the very negative millionaire candidates that are running in the top 4 positions. Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody knows Mr. Oatman, but I will let him do a second intro.
Well, I didn't actually.
Oh, hi.
Okay, I guess I'm not going to do that.
Oh, there we go.
There, okay. Yes. Again, I'm Michael Oatman. I am running for Green Party, unlike all of our fine Republican friends right here. If one of you out there are a member of the Green Party, please go ahead and vote for me. I'm third on the ballot on next Tuesday, or you can vote early. I believe that we need massive political reform in our elections and all throughout politics. I think that we need more green energy, more green jobs. We need to beat Germany at developing solar. We need more wind power. We need tidal action production of energy, and we need wave production. I can explain all of that. If you go to my website at michaeloatman.net, you can see exactly what I mean right there. And thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Today.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to the first question, and I would like to ask Mr. Perry and Mr. Terr to approach the podium. We're going to try to do these 2 at a time. Jim, would you like to go first?
Sure.
All right. So let's
Do I have
just
to wait for the question?
Yeah, please wait for the question.
Okay.
Are you ready now?
Yep.
Okay. Let's just face, most of us are Republicans in the room, or most of you are Republicans in the room, except for Oatman. Let's just face the elephant in the room. Today, Pinal County Sheriff and congressional candidate Paul Babu came out as gay after his Mexican immigrant ex-lover alleged that he threatened him. What's your reaction?
Is this a fact?
It is a fact.
I have no reaction, but I did want to mention my website also, jtamerica.com, a chicken in every garage.
Mr. Terr, you had a moment to do your introduction before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you have a reaction? Because if not, we'll let Mr. Perry.
I have no reaction. I think he came out as gay. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Perry, do you have thoughts? Why don't you approach the mic, and Jim, go ahead and sit down.
Oftentimes when I'm presented with a question like that, I ask myself, what would Ronnie James Dio do? All right? He would check his pocket constitution. All right? So just let me look it up here because I'm not sure the answer.
Kip, while he's looking it up, you can go ahead and join him.
It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created. Oops, that was the Declaration of Independence. Darn it.
Oh, Peter, why don't you move up there? Kip, what is your reaction to Paul Babu's big revelation today?
I think it's great. I think.
Why don't you step to the mic and just so make sure we can hear you.
I think some of it's great. The revelation that he's gay, I think, is great. I think when anybody loves someone else, that's wonderful. But some of his politics haven't been the greatest, and some of that is some border issues where he's been against how I really feel about the border, and And that bothers me. So love is love, hate is awful and doesn't need to be here, anywhere.
Yeah, what do you
I'd
think,
like to
Terr?
comment on that. I'm not anti-gay, and love is great, but gay is not just love to souls. It's actually a physical sexual act where a man puts his mouth on a man's penis.
Yeah!
They do things, and for that to take place in my American society, I don't like that at all. And I think Americans should protest against that sort of sexual act. We don't need that.
Kip, why don't you have a seat, because Sarah clearly has an opinion on this. Sarah?
I'll write him on that.
Okay, excuse me. What we have here, again, with the penis problem is that, I'm actually planning to hold a hearing committee comprised only of women, what I'm calling the penis crisis, thank you, because on the status of penis in the U.S., I don't understand why penis dumps their wives when they're ill. I don't understand why penis likes to play swordsies with each other penises, but they still create legislation that vilify gay people who are in loving and committed relationships. And I also don't understand why penis thinks that they can have so many ideas about women's health and reproductive issues. And so the panel of 11 women will be convening, and I'm proud to announce that the chairwoman will be Lorena Bobbitt. Thank you.
Sarah, feel free to sit down. Peter, do you want to respond?
Representing the American male, I am penis. And I think it's a shame for a man to stick his penis in another man's mouth or any kind of sexual act. And woman also to take place. Love is great. For two penis to love is great. Gay is great there. But the physical sexual act is disgusting, it's anti-God, and it'll be condemned forever.
Thank you, Peter. Charles, would you like to address the issue?
Okay.
And Donald, why don't you also join him up there?
I can see we're having a very spirited debate.
Yeah, this
here.
is going off. This is
A little more than I
super. We jumped
expected.
right in.
And I would have to say that I believe the gays have a wonderful place in this country. They're not getting the proper respect they've had, or they should have had. But I believe that should be depolitized, because what we really need is to get our economy going.
Do you think that Babu needs to drop out of the race, or you think he's fine? You think it's good for him to
No,
go?
I think he should stay in.
Donald.
Crazy, Charles.
More crazy. Woo!
I absolutely believe that he has a right.
Why don't you-
The government doesn't belong in the bedroom, and I think that gay people should make their own decisions and not have that be a political issue at all.
Michael Oatman, why don't you come sit down, Donald? And Michael wanted to ring in on this, even though he's not a Republican. And then I'll let you stay up for the next question.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you.
And Cesar, why don't you start making your way up there as well?
Yeah, I see no problem whatsoever with anyone being any sexual orientation whatsoever. I guess it's everyone's turn to say penis. So penis, and so and yeah, it's, no one should care. I think it's a non-issue, frankly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Why don't you
I
stay
think
up
he's.
there?
Oh yeah, sure.
I've got another question for you. Okay, so we're going to move on to another issue. I think this one. Cesar, do you feel like you wanted to ring in on this, or okay? With the Supreme Court's Citizen United decision and the rise of super PACs, corporations and special interests are gaining an enormous amount of influence over elected officials. Do you support public campaign financing? And if so, how much should taxpayers give you for your campaign?
All right. Well, yes, I support public financing. I think that corporations should be left out of the process, frankly. I think that a reasonable limit per individual, say under 10 grand, something like that, because that's the amount of the bet that Romney made, is that's too much money, right? It's chump change, right? Yeah, something reasonable per individual. And I think we should also have a shortened election cycle. I don't think that we should be campaigning for, a year and a half. That's really ridiculous. In England, you have 2 months. So, I think that we could do that here. Maybe 2 months leading up to a primary, 2 months leading up to the general election would be fine. But that would also cut down the amount of money that could possibly be spent. I think that would be fine to do that.
You have a chance to respond again.
Yeah.
Cesar, you're funding, you're driving all over the country. Do you think that there should be public campaign financing to help you put you on an even level?
Well, first of all, I apologize for what has been said here. I didn't know this was going to be this kind of a presidential debate. I'm a serious candidate for president. When we start talking or demeaning or using that kind of language of, that's not good. That's not good politics. That's not America.
I understand, but on the issue of campaign financing,
I'm just telling you. Wait a second, sir. When we talk like this, that is not the way we should participate in running for president. A person is running for president is like a father to the nation. Should be a good example to the nation. Okay?
Father.
I'm just saying. We come here. This is serious. I'm a serious presidential candidate. So this is not a game. This is not a little silly little game we're playing here. Okay? I'm a serious candidate. We should, again, talk seriously. There's children who sees these debates. Let's be serious.
So
Okay,
to be serious,
all right.
on the issue of campaign finance.
Okay, I'll get there. I apologize.
Well, I mean,
My
I
fellow
wanna-
Americans, I apologize for what you heard here.
Don't apologize for me, please.
Okay, so yeah, I believe, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to run for president. I found that out myself. There's just to run for president, to put your name in the ballot in Nevada, costs $10,000. In Hawaii, $5,000. In Idaho, $2,000. In Texas, $5,000. And I heard in Arkansas, I'm not sure about in Arkansas, $25,000 to put our name in the ballot. It takes a lot of money. Okay, so a person like normal, average person like us, we don't stand a chance with these millionaires.
So do you think there should be public campaign financing?
I think that if it helps us, the poor presidential candidates, we're poor.
Okay.
If it helps us, I
would like
don't
to
see
get-
why not.
I would like to get Peter and Jim to ring out. Peter's expressed that he's interested, and Jim said he wanted to talk about elections. If I could cut you to sit down, I'll bring in another question in just a moment.
I like to comment on this great man here talking about seriousness.
Please use the mic, by the way.
Apparently, he's bringing up things that went on between me and Sarah. I'm being serious. We are being serious. This is a major issue. If that wasn't a major issue, Clinton wouldn't have been found in the closet with some of his people. You have to bring things out in the open, how you feel. If you hide things, you become very disturbed in your mind. So I'm very open when it comes to issues like that. I don't hold anything back.
Do you have an opinion on public campaign financing?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we're suing the Democrats and the Republicans for not giving us face as dark horse candidates, and they should somewhat have funding for people like ourselves who should be heard from the general public has a right to hear what we have to offer. They're being forced into issues such as the Gingriches, the Romneys, and so forth, which to me are bad candidates. We have more talent here right before us than these two people I just mentioned. Why?
I want to ask you a quick question. You have talked about suing, but also that you don't like lawyers. How do you sue without a lawyer?
Let me brief. Some of my best of friends are attorneys or lawyers. I don't like attorneys or lawyers being in a place where they shouldn't be, running our great Congress of America and making decisions which create a deficit of $3 billion a day interest, creating runaway budgets. Obama is an attorney.
Okay,
He's a
I
bad
understand.
leader. There are bad leaders in Congress. We should replace them.
I understand. Now, Jim, you had expressed that you wanted to talk about elections. Campaign finance. You got any thoughts
I
on
would first like to say that is the biggest watch I have ever seen.
it? You want to show it up for the audience?
And by the way, as a proud gay man, I don't appreciate your comments, but I forgive you. Okay. Thank you, America.
And as being a proud, straight American, I forgive you for being gay.
Thank you. I need that. To be the first person to answer this question, by the way, I do support public campaign financing, and it would cost each voter $6 to pitch in to equal the amount of money that is invested in all the campaigns by all the individuals and corporations. I think it'd be well worth it, because we would have then a voice in our government without having to, the government representing everybody else except us. $6, I'm not wealthy, but I would pitch in $6, and I don't know if everybody else would. And I would also say, under this sweater, I'm wearing a T-shirt with a sponsor patch for my corporate sponsor, who did not want me to display it tonight, but I think all candidates should wear a sponsor, and senators and so on should wear a sponsor patch for their, to show who's sponsoring them in their work.
So you don't want to show it to us, though?
No, I can't, and plus the bastards didn't actually give me any money, they refused to.
Okay, I want to ask Kip a
was a
follow-up
good
question
idea,
on
I
this,
think.
but first I want to let people know that we are taking call-in phone calls, and hopefully the number will pop up on the screen in just a moment, and you can dial in, and people will let me know when a call's come in, and you can ask these candidates questions directly. Kip, would you put $6 into a campaign fund, a public campaign fund?
You know, I would put in $6 into a campaign fund. I don't think that's going to work, though, because I think at the same time, the leader of this race made $21 million the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it'd be great if we could have fair elections, but, I don't see it with Washington the way it is. I mean, so, I kind of believe that a fair election is kind of almost a pipe dream. And I think I think people have got to take action. I think people got to go out and vote. Say we don't like this crap. We don't like these people. We don't like homophobia. We don't like, we don't like hatred. And there's just tons of it here. And that's what's got to happen. You shouldn't get paid to vote. You should sit there and think, I want to better this place. This is crap. And let's go change it.
Kip for president!
Yeah.
I would like Charles and we'll have more questions. I would like Charles and Al Perry to approach the lectern, and I would like to also say that this, if you're just tuning in, this is a debate among Project White House presidential candidates on the February 28th presidential primary election. We have a group of mostly Republicans, except for Mr. Oatman, who's a Green Party candidate, and we are taking calls. Hopefully soon somebody will call in. I got a question for you guys. Okay. So, Newt Gingrich has proposed a moon colony by 2020. Can you do better than that? Charles?
Well, I think it would not
Oh,
be...
please, the microphone.
Into the mic? I think it would not be hard to get better than that, because that's a horrible idea. We've been to space once, and at the time we did it, it developed high reliability manufacturing. But we've already got that, so it's like ho-hum, why go to space?
Mr. Perry?
For me, it would depend on how many wives you'd be allowed to have, or how many times you could remarry.
That's a great
Because
question.
we have two Mormons, we've got Huntsman, we've got Romney, and we've got
Caesar.
Gingrich. All right, so that's what the moon colony would depend on.
Mr. Skelley, if you could please stay there, and Mr. Perry, just go on and stay up there. Michael, why don't you go on and join him? It's interesting you bring that up, because I was recently at a conference on space enterprise, and they believed that in order to look towards colonization of space, we needed to look towards the colonization of Americas. And among those, please stay up there. Mr. Skelley, you can go ahead and sit down.
Okay.
At this conference, they were talking about how to colonize space, we would have to look at the colonization of the Americas, including recruiting religious sects like the Mormons who would be interested in things like maybe polygamy in space. Do you think that is how we're going to get into space, is by looking at, are you serious?
Well, to do this presidential thing, I had to switch over from being a Democrat to a Republican. And I'm Christian, but I think maybe I'll just become a Mormon now, too. Why not? See how that feels. Try it on for a year.
Mr. Oatman, do you have thoughts on space?
Well, yes. I think we should. There's not any space over here. Speaking of space, we're running. If right here, you fall off the stage. I think we should definitely start looking at getting to other planets, not just in this solar system. We probably need to actually go ahead and open up some of the black operations that we have. We have anti-gravitational craft right now. The United States government possesses them. They are in, Area 51 and wherever else that they have them. we can go ahead and use that. We can take, as soon as Kepler finds a planet we'd like to go to, we can go there right away. This is something that we can do. We can certainly build a colony on the moon. We can build one on Mars. We wouldn't really want to do that on too many other, maybe Phobos, that might be a good place for because of the low gravity, orbiting Mars instead of like on Mars per se.
So you're talking multiple colonies?
Yes, I think we can. I think we can definitely.
Give me a timetable. How
Well, since we have the craft that can get there right now, we could just start shipping materials up. 20 years, 10 years, in there.
Mr. Benjamin, is this rational?
Well, it's accurate.
No, but do you agree with him?
Well, first of all, the person that proposed this, his first name is Newt. So, that's my statement. I mean,
that's it. That's all there is to it. Who else has thoughts on space? You want to go up there? Cesar, Mr. Bollander, why don't you go up there and join again? Sir, I promise we'll get. Do you have thoughts on space?
I have thoughts on everything.
Well, then we'll get to you right next. Cesar, go ahead.
I believe that when I'm president, I will we'll have a space program. You know why? Because these cell phones, these computers, all of these things are good for our nation. If it wasn't for the space program, the satellites we have up there, we wouldn't have these cell phones, cable TV, nothing like this. So it's good for our national security, the space program. I will, and that's one of the things that I will do when I'm president. Yeah, go ahead.
People don't realize, but Tucson, Arizona, on behalf of the great University of Arizona, has a tremendous optic sciences department, and funding comes in the amount of over $300 million per year for optics. And most of that goes into our space program that has been dominant from the University of Arizona's technology. And we should continue on with our efforts, fund it heavily, and create more technology with the use of funding. So in the future, I do plan, if become president, to expand our budget in space exploration.
I would like Sarah to go up. While you're responding, Sarah, can you replace Peter up there? And Simon? Simon? Could you? Thank you.
President Obama right now, he doesn't care about the space program because he just doesn't get it, you see. He doesn't know how serious that we need the space program for our security to protect our nation. That's why I think he wanted for us to help the Indians from India to help them out, and encourage them to bring them in and teach them about space. But he doesn't encourage this nation, or wants to spend money.
Sarah for president.
So,
Cesar,
anyway.
Cesar, why don't you go ahead and stay up there? I'm going to ask a slightly different question. Sarah, please approach the mic. Are there any weapons you would like added to the U.S. military arsenal?
Yeah, the biggest weapon, and that's people. Because you know what we should be apologizing for are how politicians use everyday people to have power. So immigrants, undocumented or not, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, women, working folks, that's who we should be apologizing for. And I commend everyone here for running because it takes that. And it's a joke because we're not going to get elected, right? But maybe it won't be a joke to have a Latina up here next time. So don't apologize for me because I'm here because I believe in this system and I'm bringing awareness to the ridiculousness that exists.
Well, we're going to stay up there for a second. Okay. Never mind. You can sit down.
I'm back.
Before we get to that question, I guess, Cesar, she's addressing you directly. Do you have a response? Do you have feelings on the military programs and what you'd like to add to it?
I believe that women should serve in the military if they choose to. I believe in helping our women here in America. I believe our women can do anything they want, as long as it's good. I in favor of helping our women. When I'm president, I'm gonna, not even our women only here in America, our nation, but other women from other nations, from the Muslim women. They're mistreated in Afghanistan, in Iraq. These women these women are slaves in their own country with their own body. They even cover their faces with those, what do you call those? Burkas.
Just to get acne.
Yeah, and they're, you know, a woman.
Well, I think we're getting a bit off track. We're getting a bit off track with the question. So we have a caller.
A woman.
Okay, please. Yeah,
a woman.
Wrap it up, please.
You know the women.
He needs more time to talk on my behalf, please.
No, the women. They sometimes are women. You know, they have to show their beauty, their hair. You see.
All right. Seeing as my question
anyway,
is totally biased.
What was your question again?
You're American.
Why don't you guys come sit down, and Charles and Jim, why don't you go on up there? Sarah, we'll get you another question in just a second.
You're the best.
Okay, so we've got a caller, and maybe we'll try my question again in a bit, but you guys ready for a random call
I
from the
hope it's
public?
about
apparently?
space, because I really had something to say.
You really had to say it quickly.
I have a poem about that, and have for 10 years. Since we've conquered poverty and put an end to war, since we've all discovered what this life on earth is for, since we've made a paradise of this precious godly place, let's get it all together and send it all to space. That's how stupid I think the space program is.
We've reached the halfway point. We've passed the halfway point, I believe. So I do want to take a call. Can we get a call?
Yes.
Call? Caller?
Someone in the studio needs to. Yes, take a call right now.
Caller. Let's go.
Call.
Hello.
Yes, hello. You're on the air with Illegal Knowledge.
Hi. I'm actually a kid calling in, and I have two questions actually. One is, I want to know how all the candidates feel on immigration and SB 1070, and I also want to know how the candidates also feel about the Electoral College and other issues about how we're getting elected, because things like the Electoral College where Al Gore won the majority vote, but he still lost the election.
Okay, it seems like we have two separate questions there. I only want to deal with one of them for now.
Okay, so I want to ask the SB 1071.
The SB 1070. SB 1070, controversial Arizona piece of legislation regarding immigrants. Thoughts?
Maybe Charles knows what it
We'll
is.
get you
He
in a
should
second.
start.
Yeah,
Charles.
I'm from Arizona.
So go ahead and talk into the mic for me.
All right.
Did you support 1070?
Yes, I did.
Well, explain why.
I felt it made a lot of sense because basically, at least what I understood of it, they recited what was the federal law and said that we would uphold it here in Arizona. And I see nothing wrong with upholding federal laws.
Is it a major failure of the federal government that Arizona needed to do it?
Well, I would think so. We've had something like 500,000 people caught every year and returned to Mexico. Just think how many got in here that they didn't catch and return.
Okay, why don't you have a seat, and I'm going to have Michael go up there and join Jim. But Jim, what's your response?
So that was the legislation about stronger rules against immigration. I think it's a red herring. I think we should have rules that are and procedures that are followed, but I think it's mainly a red herring to get people excited. I think it's way down on our list of problems, and I think it's more important that we address and help Mexico with their drug violence problems, for instance, and that violence is more likely to infiltrate and ruin the United States.
Okay, Michael wanted to also chime in this. Jim, why don't you go and sit down, and Cesar, if you want to join Michael as he talks.
Yes, I think that we do need to do something about immigration, and that what we need to do is to allow everyone who wants to come here to come here. There's an 18-year waiting period for people to get from Mexico to the United States. That needs to go to 0. Okay, if you want to come here, say if you don't want to stay, you can be a guest worker. If you want to just come here to live here, that should be fine. If you're willing to produce in society, that's perfectly fine. I think that our policy is ridiculous and needs to be addressed. And the other thing that we need to not focus so much on is the whole issue with drugs. And the way that we need to not focus on that is we need to legalize them.
We'll get to drug policy.
Well, no, this actually has to do with borders. Okay, because if you legalize, a lot of the problem is drugs coming across the border, and we're worried so much about some Al Qaeda person coming across. But meanwhile, there's all these drugs and all these the coyotes bringing all these people across. If we just stop those parts, we have ports. Let's have them use the roads. That's why there are roads. So we make it so that you can bring drugs across, legalize that, make it so you can bring people across, legalize that. Then, when there is someone sneaking across, then we know that they mean us ill, because otherwise they'd use the ports, use the roads. All right, and then then we don't really need a fence. It helps wildlife migrate. That's also a good thing. So,
Well, let's go. Why don't you come back and I'll let Cesar respond. I'm guessing, Cesar, you're a supporter of SB 1070. I'm going to get Simon to come up here and also address it, and then we'll move on to some of the candidates who haven't had a chance to ring in on this one.
Yes, my father, he was born in Mexico. I was born in Texas. Yo hablo español. Hablo muy buen español. Mis queridos americanos, familia americana. I said, I'm against 1070 because...
You're against 1070?
Yes.
Wow.
Because a law like that, if I was stopped by the police, he would profile me for any reason. If I didn't have no ID or anything, they would put me, sheriff would probably pick me up and take me to jail. Wait a second. So I'm against that, okay? It is against, that's unconstitutional.
Just one second, Peter.
Okay?
Hey, Simon.
All right? So also, when I'm president, I'm going to seal the borders. I'm going to seal the borders. Now I'm going to put 5 fences and a big wall from Brownsville, Texas, to San Diego, California, from Seattle, Washington, to the state of Maine. Okay? That's what I'm going to do.
Que viva la raza!
And I'm going to put our military, do military exercises. The Marines, Army Special Forces, Navy SEALs.
Let me speak on this.
Wait a second. And after that, I am going to give amnesty to all the illegals that are here in America. I'm going to help them become citizens. And
that's
what I'm going to do.
That's quite a position.
I have a very strong. I've been stopped 3 times.
Oh,
Have you noticed?
do you want to come back, Cesar?
I look Hispanic. I've been stopped 3 times, and I'm literally pissed. All right, people saying they should be, they're of Mexican descent. They show their ID. It's bad. My parents, or my great parents, my family all came in through Ellis Island from Germany and France with paperwork. They went through this system. They didn't complain. We should not complain to be stopped. I've been stopped 3 times for being illegal. I look Hispanic. I'm not mad. I think it's great that we have a system that employs people to eliminate problems. We have problems. You check a lot of the illegal crossers, a small percentage have problems, as we know what the problems are.
So Mr. Cisneros does not like to be profiled, but you're okay with it.
That's great. That's great.
Mr. Benjamin.
More profiling!
Yes.
Mr. Benjamin, I'm guessing that you're not so concerned with being profiled on this. Peter, why don't you go and...
He gets profiled all the time. I've hung out with him.
Yeah, my profile. This microphone is for shorties here. No, I guess I won't use it. My profile usually happens right up in this area here. There have been a lot of opinions expressed here tonight, and we have a Statue of Liberty. And what does she say? She says, "Bring me your poor, your tired, your huddled masses." So where did that get to be a bad thing? I am totally against the Senate Bill 1070. I agree with Jim Terr that it is a red herring. It's a way to get people to turn out to get emotions churning. I think it's a mistake. I think the federal government needs to establish a policy. Amnesty is not a bad word. Amnesty is not a bad word. And by the way, the old phrase, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, applies here. People can have opinions. They don't need to be shouted down. This is an amiable crowd, but the 4 top Republican candidates are negatively campaigning, are going to sow dissension. It's going to be a horrible election season for the United States of America if any one of those 4 knotheads becomes the challenger for the incumbent. I think you should choose any one of these candidates, vote for them, send a message to the top 4 that they do not belong in this race. They're not legitimate candidates.
Right on.
Kip, I want to ask you a totally different question, and Mr. Perry, if you'd like to join him.
Lord Jesus. Am I going to get any time to speak?
You're up next. You're up next.
You're ahead of me.
2. I've had 2 times.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, if you guys have a strong opinion on something, just signal me. I'll try to get you up there. Mr. Oatman brought up the issue of drug policy. What's more dangerous? to Americans? Booze or pot?
Most definitely booze. I think.
Why is that?
Well, trying both. Yeah, I feel more comfortable on, yeah, I think it's a calmer influence than alcohol, which is, much more of a depressant. I believe once it gets there, it's more of a social activity. It just seems, suddenly folks get amped and it's bad. I don't think either one of them are great, but I don't believe we should stop people from doing something that they would like to do, and most definitely marijuana is something, or further along drugs, I'm not sure how I really feel about as much strongly, but marijuana is a calming influence, and it's another thing that should be there.
Let me get Mr. Perry to. What do you think?
Oh, I would definitely say booze because it's readily available and,
So if pot was readily available, it would be on the same par with booze, you think? Or would it be better or worse for you? What would be?
I don't know. I don't really care that much.
All right, well, why don't you go sit down? Sarah, get on up there.
Thanks, Dave.
He supports
No,
both.
does anybody else have a strong opinion on this? You do?
I think
Why don't
that
you-
pot is better than alcohol. Yes.
Pot is better than alcohol.
Yes, pot
No
is
one's
better
ever
than
died
alcohol.
because of pot, and lots of people have died because of alcohol.
Should it be legalized?
Legalize it.
Absolutely.
Do you
Medicine.
Okay, and
I hear that it's fun.
any other thoughts on marijuana policy and drug policy in America?
Yeah, marijuana policy, drug policy. If you really look at trends, like everybody's, expressing individual ideas, but really you have to look at the bigger picture. And what we see with drug policy and drug charges is that it's very racialized, and it's also very dependent on how much money you make. So we're putting all of our brown and black brothers and sisters in prison, and women too are disproportionately affected by drug charges. They always go for the person at the lower level and not the people at the top. So policies like this, again, it's about business, and it disproportionately affects people of color and women. So yeah.
Why don't you stay up there, but I want Cesar to respond.
Drugs are no good. Marijuana is not good. It's a drug. Okay? People, young people, whoever, they start with marijuana.
Alcohol's not a drug.
Then they go cocaine, heroin. They start with marijuana. It's a drug. Believe me, I know.
Start with milk.
I know, but I know, okay? It's a bad drug.
I think that means
When
it-
I'm
We're
president,
going to take a call now.
You didn't inhale.
when I'm president, that will not happen. You know
Okay.
what? Let me tell you something real quick. Our nation is suffering. You know why? Because these people are legalizing drugs in California all over. That's why the Lord is not blessing this nation. This nation is suffering. This nation is suffering. It's like the Titanic. It's sinking. We need God in our lives. We need Christ. We need Jesus Christ in our lives. We put God, Christ in the back seat for many years. We need to
Cesar-
put him in the front seat.
Cesar, I've got a caller I want to go to.
We need to obey the Ten Commandments.
We're going to a phone call.
Yeah, Cesar.
We're going to a
All
phone call.
right, Sarah, stay up there. Who would like a chance on this one, or who hasn't had a chance for a bit?
No, I'm not.
Jim, why don't you go up there?
Me?
Yeah, we're gonna take. Wait, Jim.
Yay!
Hi, Sarah.
Okay, we got a caller.
Let's go with the phone call.
Who do we got?
Hi, I'm
Not really
calling in
good.
again because no one else called in, but
Thank
I
you.
just want to ask, since we're talking about moon base and immigration, what would you guys do if there were illegal immigrants on the moon base?
Illegal immigrants on the moon.
How would they be illegal? How would it be that they're illegal? Did we lose the caller?
As a caller,
That's
May
a
I-
ridiculous
may
question.
I,
Next
respond?
question.
Next question, I parent. Did you have any thoughts, Jim, on
No,
pot
I'm
versus
going to
booze?
go off on a tangent, so let's have the next question.
Okay, going down my list here. Is the location of the White House unfair to the West Coast?
Yes.
Where might you move it to if you
Here.
agree?
I'd like to skip that question and say, I meant to say earlier, I have a thick dossier of negative information on everybody in this room tonight, and I'd appreciate a little respect and appreciate being addressed as Mr. President, which my family has been doing lately.
That's a bit of an unreasonable request.
And one other thing,
to be honest.
It's nice to be in Tucson. It's warm here. I brought my bathing costume and my goggles. If any of you has a heated pool, I would appreciate an invitation, particularly Simon.
We got 5.
Drink his water.
Why don't you sit back, Jim? I'm kind of regretting asking you to go up there.
Sorry, Jim, I like woman.
Peter, do you want to go up there and answer this question?
Yes.
Sarah.
I just wanted to say that a lot
Well, you have a choice. Illegal immigrants on the moon, or no? Don't want that question.
New question.
Okay, then where would you move the White House to if you could?
Keep
it where it is.
I think it should rotate actually.
That's a good idea.
Like this?
I like that.
Well, also spin, but rotate to different places. And I just want to say, actually, I had to show ID to fill out and do this paperwork. So, people are saying they have to show ID. I just want to say, for profiling, I had to show my ID.
Peter, where's the White House going to go?
I think the White House should stay where it is forever. It's a perfect place. If you went visited Washington, D.C., there's so much money, billions and billions put into it. The only problem is the road work. You get kind of confused. I can't see any other place. I might put a satellite in L.A. or San Francisco, a satellite office of the White House that has just as effective as Washington, D.C., with meeting places for Congress.
Can I ask a different question to you, Mr. Benjamin, or do you want to answer this one really specific?
I'll just briefly respond to this, if I may. I really feel it should be renamed Casablanca, and that'll be one of my first official acts if elected president. And I'll stay to respond to another question if you have.
I just had one final question. It can be done by a raise of hands. Would any candidate on stage commit to raising the amount of funds provided to public access stations across the country who do local access?
Yes.
I don't know how much is provided.
Not much. Not much.
It should be all of the amount that's here.
I just want to say thank you for joining us on this debate. We have another one on tomorrow night. I believe it starts at about 7 o'clock. And I think I'm going to hand it back over to Michael Oatman. Are you going to make a...
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say
answer that question?
I was going to say the exact same thing. But yeah, thank you. I was okay. Looks like we have about 3 minutes left. So do you want to say something real quick and then?
No, it's all up to you because I'm a public access byproduct. I was trained here 20 years ago, and I could see what it does for the general public. Anybody can become a member and educated in videography and so forth.
Yeah.
It's a great function, and you also have the right to express yourself, called freedom of speech.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Are we? I want to remind people that we are 10 days out from the presidential primary election. It is on February 28th. Tomorrow, our debate will be on, as I said, at 7 o'clock on channel 74 or 99, depending on your provider. Michael, I think, is going to take us out for the end, or?
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about not the immigrants on the moon. What was your other question?
The access should be funded.
Yeah, well, access should be funded, and then you had one right before that.
Oh, the question about
White House?
about where the White House should be located.
Oh, right. Yes, the White House. Yes, I think it should be located in Tucson. Absolutely. Yes, I think it. Well, number one, with global warming, we're going to end up with nothing left in the north. So we gotta go, and we have to make it here.
I want to thank
And
all. Sorry.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I want to thank all our candidates for turning up tonight and for giving us their thoughts on what they would do if taken over for president. I know some traveled for quite a distance, and so if we get a round of applause from the audience. Thank you very much.
Very good.
And
Perfectly. That was very good. Tomorrow's going to be a blast.
okay.
Like this.
All right, we're good.
Wonderful.
We're good.
All right, well, I'll do better tomorrow.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
I think we
Thanks.
all will. So.
Yeah, it's doing
Trevor
credits.
Baxter.
All the mics should be cut.